Welcome back, basketball fans, to another great show with Sean on Ball. We're talking about the NBA playoffs today. If you joined me for the NCAA, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Now we're moving forward to the NBA playoffs. Obviously, all the teams are set. We know the setups, the matchups. So let's break it down. Let's talk about it. Give our breakdowns and predictions on this first round. So stay tuned to this short message and we'll get to it. Welcome back, basketball fans. I used to be probably one of the hardest NBA fans in basketball. I knew every single player on every single team, the bench players, everything else, the draft picks, where they came from college, what schools they went to. I knew everything. But obviously, recently, I've spent a lot of my time focusing on boxing. So if you're a boxing fan, jump over to Sean on Boxing to check that out. I'm also a big Liverpool fan, so you can check out Sean on Liverpool as well if you enjoy football. And I do mean soccer. Mostly with basketball, I prefer following NCAA a lot more. I love the energy and enthusiasm from the young guys trying to make their careers. But still, obviously, I still pay attention to the NBA and I'm still a big fan, specifically of certain players. So we're going to break this down, look at it, give opinions and predictions on what's going on this year with the NBA. So let's get to the first uh, matchup, and that is Memphis Grizzlies versus Oak City Thunder. Memphis today repping Vancouver Grizzlies jerseys, harkening back to when I was a Grizzlies fan living in Vancouver. That's probably why I left Vancouver after we lost the Grizzlies. Then I moved to Asia. So it's all the Grizzlies' fault. Obviously, this is an intriguing matchup. We know the Thunder have been dominant this year, 68 wins, only one of seven teams to ever do that in NBA history. Memphis, on paper, looks good. The problem with them is I feel that they don't really have much scoring off the bench. They have some size. I wish GG Jackson would be back to full sort of shape. I think he was that player that they were missing. Maybe he will start being a little more of an impact player in this particular series, where I think size is not going to necessarily be the main thing they need to do well against Oklahoma City Thunder. Obviously, Shea is potentially going to be MVP this year, putting up great scoring numbers, obviously leading his team to a historical win streak. So, I have no hate or animosity towards my Canadian brethren getting an NBA MVP. But personally, if I had a vote, I'd vote for fucking the Joker, who just got his first triple double, the first center in NBA history to pull that off. So that's pretty significant. In this matchup, both teams have some depth. They got some bench, but I feel that Memphis is just too dependent on Ja, who at this point, who knows what's going to happen to him. I mean, he could end up being suspended tomorrow for all we know. And then, of course, Bain, who's a good player, but kind of streaky. So you got to kind of favor SGA and the boys to win this. They got good scores off the bench, a lot of three-point shooters, a lot of depth, play great defense. So, I definitely am edging them to win this series. And I'm feeling pretty confident that they're going to win. So I'm going to call this a sweep. I definitely think they're going to sweep Memphis. But Ja could surprise me. He could put one of those superstar performances together, which he's capable of doing, and potentially stealing one game in the series. What happened? All my lights are gone. Okay, let's leave this on. Keyshawn Davis, Edward De Los Santos, kickoff press conference. Yeah, so that's the way I think this one's going to go. It's going to be fun, but I think it's going to be a bit of a blowout. I just don't see Memphis at this point being able to beat the Thunder. No chance, no how, no way. But maybe if they're lucky, they can take one game on the back of Ja. Ja, Irie. Next one is a pretty intriguing one. This is one that really has pundits and basketball fans kind of caught up, right? Obviously, Butler just joined Golden State. He's a great player, a great complementary player to Steph Curry, who definitely needs a second scorer on the team. I am a Wiggins fan, obviously, my Canadian brethren. So uh, I was disappointed with his performance the last couple of years. Obviously, some family issues really mentally got into him and sort of broke him. So it's nice for him to get a new start in Miami. And of course, for my man Butler coming over to Golden State, there's a new winning right attached to this. Curry's getting older. He doesn't have that much longer to be one of the most dominant players in the NBA. He's a guy that could put up 40 in a heartbeat. So we always know Golden State could be dangerous. You look at Houston, the question with them is, do they have the experience necessary to win games in the playoffs? They got great depth, great athleticism. Um, you know, obviously they have players in every position. Their center is one of the best big men in NBA right now. Obviously, a very versatile player, a guy you can run the offense through. Green is a potential superstar wing, right? Who just tends to be a little hot and cold for my liking. And overall, a lot of good draft picks and a lot of really good players. There's actually some speculation that potentially they may try to get Durant in the offseason. Durant obviously is a sensational player, one of the best scorers in the NBA. So if he was to be added to Houston, look forward to Houston being a much more dangerous team next year. But at this point, you know, I'm obviously a Curry fan, so I would like Golden State to win, right? If things could unfold the way I want, that's what I would like. But this isn't about what I would like. This is about what do you think will happen if you really look at everything and try to evaluate and make your prediction. So I think that Houston is going to win in a tough series that goes down to the last game. I think their youth, their energy, the bench depth that they have, the ability for them to play tough defense on Curry. We already saw that in the last game they played, where I think they held him to 3 points because of what's his face, the twin brother, who is one of the best defenders in the league, right? And versatile. You stick him on Curry, it's like putting Pippen on any guard back in the day in the NBA, right? It's going to be very difficult to get your shot off. It's going to be hard to penetrate. It's going to be equally difficult to get passes to key players because of the length and athleticism you have to deal with. So I do think that's going to weigh in on Golden State. But as I say, when you got Curry on your team, anything can happen. If he's hot, there's no stopping them. But for them, it's going to be very important for other people to hit shots, right? If the rest of the team is hitting shots, then they're going to do well and potentially could win the series. But the problem is, I just don't think they have enough shot makers on this current team to move them forward. So I'm picking Houston to win this in a tough series. Let's move through. Next, this is probably the hottest game in the NBA right now, for good reason. Luka Doncic joining the Lakers. I mean, Jesus Christ, man! Like Dallas just ruined their franchise forever with that trade. Worst trade in fucking basketball history. You got one great player who's injury prone and is already, uh, 33 years old, as opposed to Luka, who's a superstar and easily is going to be a superstar for the next 10 years. He's going to be the linchpin for the Lakers moving forward. When LeBron James retires, it's going to be Luka's team, full steam ahead, right? But right now with LeBron and Luka, I mean, I don't think Minnesota is going to be able to win this series, even though I love my man. He's a guy that I said was potentially going to be the best player in the NBA. Unfortunately, he hasn't been as aggressive this year. He settled for a lot more jump shots, which I guess is okay. It kept him more healthy so that he could get in position in the playoffs to put his front foot forward. So I do expect him to be very aggressive in the playoffs. But one man alone is not going to beat the Lakers, right? He's going to put up 40 points a game, but I don't know if that's enough points to beat Luka and LeBron. the tandem, right? Then you look at Randall, who they obviously got last year from New York. I'm I'm not a hater, but I fucking hate Randall. Even though he comes from Kentucky, I'm a big Kentucky fan. But I think at that point when I watched him play for Kentucky, I already saw what a limited player he was, a ball stop, a guy that fucking just couldn't play defense, didn't come up big when you needed him to come up big, and he's carried over to do that in the NBA in every single team he's played for. I thought the Knicks trading him away was sensational, even though it hasn't really worked out that well yet this year. But I do think in the playoffs, Randall is going to be fucking nothing. He's going to put up ugly 3-point shots. He's not going to rebound. He's not going to play tough defense. And basically, the second scorer that you need, it's not going to be him. And if he doesn't do his role, the Lakers are going to win this series easy, easy. The most I could see it is maybe off the back of Edwards. They could win 2 games if they're lucky, 2 games at home. But I do think the Lakers are going to go through. I expect Luka to fucking step up big and be dominant and show everybody why Dallas trading him was the stupidest fucking thing in history. This guy literally led Dallas to the NBA Finals last year, and then you get rid of him because he can't play defense. Oh my God. Like, really? Oh, okay. So now your team is great defensively, but they didn't make the playoffs. So congratulations on that, Dallas Mavericks. You have a good future ahead of you. But the Lakers, they will find a way to win. So I'm predicting the Lakers to beat Mini in this series. Then we move forward to the next one. This is a one that I'm scared of because obviously this is probably the toughest matchup and the most competitive series in the West. The Clippers with a healthy man right in front of you, a guy that, during the regular season never shows up. Basically, Ferrari still played basketball. But in the playoffs, if he's healthy, it's going to be tough. Denver, obviously, I love Joker. I've never seen a big man as skilled as him in my life. Bringing up the ball, setting the offense through him, hitting the three, great low post skills, great passer. Oh my God, that dude putting up a triple double and 2 steals a game, being top 5 in 4 categories this year. Unbelievable. Unfortunately for the rest of the team, they haven't really been clicking very well all year. Murray's been on and off. He's been hurt. He started the year very slowly, was dismal last year in the Olympics for Team Canada, which had me really disappointed. I thought him and SGA were going to be super backcourt, right, with all the other key complementary players on Team Canada. But unfortunately, Murray was garbage. Started this year garbage, went through a good little shooting thing for a while, but obviously just got injured recently and hasn't really been really significant recently. Porter is hot and cold at the best of times. My man Gordon was injured a lot this year, and he's really important to this team because obviously defensively he is the linchpin, but then offensively he's also very good player as well, especially in the dunker role, getting those little alley-oops from the Joker, able to hit the corner three. Brown has really stepped up this year. I think he's the guy that had the most breakaway points in the NBA this year, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, they like to play fast, especially with Joker rebounding and moving the ball up. The team's been effective that way. But in the playoffs, unfortunately, that style of play is probably not going to be very, very good. So he's going to have to play defense, where he's not a great defender. He's going to have to hit the three. He's not a great 3-point shooter. Off the bench is pretty short. Westbrook brings energy, but his energy can help you or it can hurt you, depending on the energy of the day, right? So, well, I prefer Denver to win, and I hope Denver would win, and I'm praying Denver will win. I'm kind of leaning towards the Clippers. Obviously, everything they've done has really worked out well for them this year. They're coming in on a high note right into the playoffs. Obviously, they're a team that's consistently disappointed in the playoffs. But, the man that you paid all this money for Now he's got a position to actually earn that money and get you through to the next round. So I am going to pick the Clippers to win in a very hard-fought series that goes to the final game. I do think Joker's going to put up fantastic numbers, and hopefully them losing, even with him putting up triple-double and fantastic numbers, leads Denver to bring Durant in next year. Because imagine Durant and the Joker playing together. Murray will have it easy because he'll have a lot of open three-pointers. Durant will have tons of easy open three-pointers thanks to Joker's great passing. And obviously for the Joker, with two shooters like them on the wings, it's going to make life far easier, right? You can have Gordon, obviously, on the team playing great defense. And then you can fill that extra position with a 3-and-D type of player, right? Which is going to be, I think, an important player for them moving forward next year. But let me know what you think about potentially Durant joining Denver. And who do you think is going to win this series? Overall, the West looks fantastic. Deep division, a lot of entertaining, competitive matchups. What do they say here? Prediction: the Clippers will have a double-digit lead in every game. Wow. And for this one, what do they say? What's the prediction? LeBron James will play more center minutes than Jackson Hayes. That's not a surprise. I definitely think you could play him small center. Prediction: the Rockets will not let Steph Curry beat them. Yeah, that's what I said. Prediction: Oak City will hold Memphis under 100 points 3 times. Wow. So let's move forward to the East. Orlando Magic versus the Boston Celtics. The Magic has some injuries. Obviously, if you think about their team with depth, they're good. The problem is very young, right? Youth. And while youth is a great way to build a team up, it's not necessarily a great way to win, right? And they're playing Boston, who, as far as I'm aware, is completely healthy, got the bench that they always had, actually, who's performing even better than they did. These players finally feel comfortable in their role and are really excelling. Um, you know, Boston obviously has some pressure to repeat this year, but at the same time, I think the fact that they won last year also gives them a bit of a leeway, right? If they would have lost last year, then the pressure would have been unbelievable. But since they did win, I think their fans will be a little easier going on them than they would be otherwise, which is going to allow Boston to go in there and just fucking dominate the Magic. And I do expect them to dominate the Magic. I don't think this series will go very far, and I don't even know if Orlando will be able to win a game in the series. Prediction: they say Jaylen Brown will play less than 100 minutes in the series. I don't know if that's supposed to be a good thing or a bad thing. What do they say? They can bury the Magic without their second best player. Is Brown injured? Oh, Jaylen Brown's troublesome right knee. Okay, so that's why they wouldn't play him very much. Then we get this series, which is also a very tough one. People have looked at how these two teams faced up during the regular season. Detroit has won all the games that they faced the Knicks during the regular season. Obviously, now coming to the playoffs, super confident, uber confident. They're a team that really built up through the draft, and now those pieces are really starting to click and fit together. Thanks to this all-star player that you see in front of me, Cade Cunningham, who's been unbelievable, right? He's a very good player, obviously a point forward, a guy that can score, assist, control the ball, and make his teammates better. But what they need to make sure is the teammates actually are doing what they need to do. For the Knicks, they made 2 trades this year, which I thought were really going to make them into a real contender. Obviously, getting Mikal Bridges, who they gave up a ton of draft picks for, and then getting Cat from from Minnesota. It made me really feel that their starting five would be almost unbeatable, right? With the versatility, the natural length, and I just thought defensively they'd be better. Because now you have OJ Anunoby, but a lot less pressure with Mikal Bridges beside him. Obviously, you have Cat, who's not a great defender, but his offensive ability really helps this team and definitely spreads the floor, allowing their guards and forwards to be more aggressive and to really capitalize on that aspect of the floor. So, unfortunately, the Knicks just haven't seemed to click as well as I would have thought they would have. Um, their prediction here is that Cade Cunningham will average over 35 points per game. Yeah, and even in doing that, it doesn't mean that Detroit will beat New York. My prediction is it's going to be a tough fought series, but this is the playoffs, not the regular season. And the Knicks have far more experience. They have a fucking gunner in the point guard position who's going to step up in the playoffs as well. And look forward to him averaging 30 points a game, uh, sort of taking away the benefit of Cade Cunningham's 35. They also have better depth, and I just think more experience, and that's going to be the difference in this series. I do look forward to the Knicks beating Detroit and moving forward. Then we get to Miami Heat versus the Cavs. I like the Heat squad, with Wiggins in there, the tall center that they drafted last year, giving them a lot more depth. He's also a very athletic and versatile big man, putting beside their power forward. Hero's a gunslinger, right? But Cleveland is. I would love to see Cleveland win a title this year, and I think they deserve it. They literally have the best team, I think, in the NBA. I would love to see them versus Oak City in the final. I think those two teams would deserve it. Obviously, it's not the kind of series that TV would want because they're not the biggest markets and they don't have the star players to really get big crowds. But at the end of the day, the two teams that really performed outstanding during the regular season, it'd be excellent to see them face off against each other in the finals to see really who is the better team, right? And only then could we really know who's better. Their prediction is that the Cavs will shoot over 50% from the series. I do think that they are going to be too good. Bam is a solid player. But, when you think about Mitchell and Garland, great backcourt, both guys able to put 30 points on you at any game. They're big men, versatile, long, right? Lots of depth. And the trade they made earlier this year to get the small forward player, sorry, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I think he's really going to be the difference for them because last year they didn't have that extra score that they needed, especially when you put one of the guards like Mitchell or Garland on the bench, right? At that point, then they sort of lost something offensively. But with him on the team, I think, man, there's no squad better currently in the NBA. A team that's versatile, long, can score from all five positions, great shooting from all five positions as well. I just think they're a really, really great team, and I do expect them to beat Miami. But as I said, I like Miami. I like Wiggins, but I just don't think this year's team is going to be able to do it. Then we get to Indiana Pacers and the Bucks. The Bucks, I just don't see them beating Indiana. I think Indiana is going to be better after all the things they went through last year in the playoffs. They have a deep team, very good bench, solid squad, a better team, right? Really than Giannis's Milwaukee Bucks, especially with what's his face hurt. I know potentially Lillard might come back, but in truth, he probably won't come back until the second round if they're able to get that far. Giannis is obviously going to play well, but for Indiana, all they got to do is close down the key and force the other team, the other players in the Milwaukee to beat you. And if that's the case, I don't see it happening. I don't think they're going to be able to beat them. No chance, no how, right? I definitely think Indiana is going to win this series and move forward. And then we're going to have Indiana, Cleveland, New York, and Boston moving forward, which, really at the beginning of the year, if you wanted to predict which four teams in the East probably were going to go through, those probably were the teams that you would have picked, right? In all honesty. So it's not really a surprise. Whereas in the West, it's a little different. Picking the Clippers, Houston, Oak City, and who am I missing? Oh, the Lakers, right? I mean, Houston, Clippers, the Lakers. Nobody would have predicted any of those three teams would be moving forward into the second round at the beginning of the season. No chance in hell would people predict that. People would have said Minnesota, Denver, Oak City, and maybe Phoenix, maybe, right? But man, it just or sorry, Dallas, because obviously Luca still would have been on Dallas. So probably Dallas would have been the other team. But it just shows you the West is a lot more volatile, a lot more depth, and because of that, anything can happen in the West. The East is a lot more, I think, easy to predict. The teams are strong, and I do think that they're going to get through and actually do what they should do, which is win their first round games, move forward. And obviously, we'll be talking about that moving forward. Stay tuned to the second round predictions. We can see which of these ones I made correctly. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with my predictions or not? What do you have as your predictions? Leave in the comment section below. Let me see how our predictions are differing or the same. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out and enjoy the playoffs.